Ever wish you could spot a lie like a seasoned private detective, not just an FBI agent, in mere seconds? It's not about magic, folks. It's about observation. Did you know that the average person is exposed to hundreds of deceptive cues daily, often without realizing it? These aren't grand gestures, they're fleeting, involuntary twitches of the face, gone in a blink. They're called micro-expressions, and they instantly expose the truth behind the mask. I remember a case, a simple insurance fraud claim, where the claimant swore up and down he was injured. But a flicker, a momentary tightening around his eyes, told a different story. It was a subtle sign of contempt, gone before most people would even register it. Have you ever felt that nagging doubt, that gut feeling that someone isn't being entirely truthful, but you just couldn't put your finger on why? Today, we're going to equip you with the tools to validate that gut feeling. Welcome to my world, where we decode the hidden psychology behind every conversation. I'm Arthur Hayes, and for decades, I've made a living uncovering what people truly mean, not just what they say. Today, you'll learn the facial cues the pros use to catch lies fast. This isn't about becoming a human lie detector overnight, but about understanding the subtle language of the face, a language that often betrays our conscious intentions. We're going to peel back the layers of polite conversation and reveal the raw, unfiltered emotions that flash across the face before the speaker can even suppress them. First up, let's talk about eye movement patterns. When someone is genuinely recalling information, their eyes often move in predictable ways, up and to the left for visual recall, down and to the left for internal feelings. But when they're constructing a lie or fabricating a story, you'll often see a deviation, eyes darting up and to the right for visual construction, or down and to the right for auditory construction. I remember a case with a young man, let's call him Mark, who was denying a simple theft. When I asked him where he was at the time, his eyes flickered up and to the right, a classic sign of constructing a visual scenario rather than recalling one. Think about when your grandchild is telling you about their day at school. Are their eyes tracking as they recount events, or are they subtly shifting as if painting a picture that isn't quite real? The brain works over time when constructing a falsehood, pulling from different cognitive areas, and these eye movements are often a telltale sign of that increased cognitive load. Have you ever noticed someone's eyes darting when they're trying to recall something, or perhaps create something new? It's a subtle shift, but once you know what to look for, it's undeniable. Next, we move to the mouth micro-expressions, specifically the difference between a fake smile and a real one. A genuine smile, what we call a Duchenne smile, involves not just the corners of the mouth turning up, but also the muscles around the eyes, the orbicularis oculi, contracting, creating those little crinkles or crow's feet. A fake smile, on the other hand, often involves only the mouth, leaving the eyes relatively still and cold. Old Mrs. Henderson, God bless her, always had a smile for everyone, but it never quite reached her eyes when she was truly upset about something. It was a polite mask. Can you truly tell the difference between genuine joy and mere politeness just by a smile? Pay attention to the eyes. If they're not engaged, the smile is likely just a social gesture, not an expression of true feeling. It's a simple physiological response. Genuine happiness activates more facial muscles, making it harder to fake convincingly. Third, watch for eyebrow flash tells. A fast, fleeting raising of the eyebrows, often lasting less than a second, can signal genuine surprise or, more subtly, an attempt to feign surprise or emphasize a point that isn't entirely truthful. There was a fellow, a slick talker named Silas, who always gave a quick eyebrow flash when he was trying to convince me of something outlandish. It was too fast, too controlled to be genuine shock. It was a performance. When someone gets unexpected news, observe if that eyebrow raise is accompanied by other signs of surprise, like widened eyes or a slight gasp. If it's just the eyebrows, it might be a subtle form of deception, a quick, almost unconscious attempt to sell a narrative. Is that fleeting arch of an eyebrow truly surprise, or a quick cover for something else? It's an involuntary muscle response to genuine surprise, but when it's manipulated, it loses its natural fluidity. Fourth, let's consider nostril flare detection. This is a particularly subtle one, often missed by the untrained eye. A slight, almost imperceptible flaring of the nostrils can be a sign of increased physiological arousal, which can stem from stress, anger, or even the effort of lying. It's a primal response, a slight widening of the airways as if preparing for a fight or flight. I recall a suspect, a quiet librarian accused of embezzlement, who remained calm throughout our conversation. But when I presented a piece of irrefutable evidence, her nostrils flared for a fraction of a second, a tiny tell that her composure was cracking. It's like when you're trying to hold back a sneeze, that tiny intake of breath. The body is reacting to internal pressure. Have you ever noticed this in someone when they're under pressure, perhaps in a difficult conversation or trying to explain away a mistake? It's a micro-expression of heightened tension, a biological signal that the individual is experiencing an internal struggle. Finally, we come to forehead tension signs. When someone is experiencing genuine distress, confusion, or the cognitive effort of fabricating a story, the muscles in their forehead, specifically the frontalis muscle, can tense up, creating subtle horizontal lines or a general tightening of the skin. This isn't the same as the wrinkles you get from aging. It's a momentary, involuntary contraction. I once interviewed a witness, a seemingly unflappable businessman, who was detailing an alibi. Every time I pressed him on a specific detail, a faint, almost imperceptible furrow would appear between his eyebrows, and his forehead would subtly smooth out in other areas, as if he was trying to control his expression. It was the tell of someone working hard to maintain a facade. Think about when you're trying to remember a difficult password or solve a complex problem. Do you feel a slight tension in your brow? That's your brain working. When someone is lying, their brain is often working overtime to keep the story straight and suppress the truth. And this tension can manifest physically. Have you ever caught yourself furrowing your brow when you're deep in thought, or perhaps when you're trying to hide something? It's a physiological response to cognitive load and emotional suppression. Remember, these 5 micro-expressions, the subtle shifts in eye movement, the telltale signs of a fake smile, the fleeting eyebrow flash, the barely perceptible nostril flare, and the involuntary forehead tension, can help you read the truth in nearly any situation. They are tiny windows into a person's true emotional state, often revealing what their words try to conceal. Use them wisely, not to accuse, but to understand. They are tools for insight, for navigating the complex landscape of human interaction with greater clarity. It's about being more observant, more attuned to the unspoken language that constantly surrounds us. If you want more real psychology secrets from a retired detective's playbook, hit that subscribe button. And for an even deeper dive into understanding people, check out this next video on reading anyone's personality in 30 seconds.